Hey there, and welcome. If you're like me in midlife trying to maintain your bone density and muscle mass by lifting heavy weights, you probably also know that mobility and flexibility are really important also. Did you know that yin yoga can really help us to keep our tissues hydrated, help us to recover and get back into the weight room? That's what this session is all about today. It's giving love to the connective tissue, that deep fascia that will help us maintain our health and feel great overall. We'll need 2 blocks and a bolster today. So we'll get started in squat today. So you'll need 1 or 2 blocks, depending on your mobility, your range of motion. And we'll take our feet a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart, and we'll sink our hips back, taking the blocks underneath and coming into squat. If you did an upper body session recently as well, you may want to relax your upper body and just bring the chin down towards the chest as you support your elbows on your thighs right above your knee. So in yin yoga, we try to find our edge. It's really a place where we feel a sensation, but definitely not a sensation where it's painful or pinching, or where your body part starts to fall asleep. You can always come out of the posture at any time. You never need my permission if at any time something feels off. But you do want to feel a sensation. It's almost like where our body naturally stops. We'll just take a few more breaths here. Just signaling to the body that we're going to transition momentarily. And then we're going to remove the blocks, but we're going to keep them close, because up next we're going to do a posture that is going to show our toes some love. So many times we have our feet cramped in weightlifting shoes or sneakers, and it's really important for mobility and stability of your feet to spread the toes wide. So we're going to use our blocks if you need them, and there's no shame in needing the blocks, but we're going to come into toe stand. So spread the toes wide, and you're going to use the blocks to bring your knees. If this is too much, you can do one at a time, where you can play around with the pressure, the sensation on your foot. So you're in control of how much sensation you can wiggle forward or back. And if you're doing the one side first, I'll let you know when we're halfway through and you can switch to the other side. It's also helpful to lean forward if it's too much sensation. You can even hold on to the blocks. That way you can control the pressure forward and back. And I always find that the body likes to be safe. It needs to know that it's safe so that it can let go. And every time I think of letting go, I think of Jodie Foster in the movie Contact, where she's like, I'm okay to go. I'm okay to go. Your body feels the same way, right? It's got to be okay to let go. So if you breathe and don't push yourself, this is not about striving. I know many weightlifters, we want to feel the burn and push, but it's really about surrendering in yin. You might feel a sensation along the shins too, the shin muscles. That's totally normal. And not muscles that we stretch very often, so total body love. That's what we're doing here. We'll take a few more breaths. And we'll slowly, with a very yin attitude of softness, come out. And we'll just move the blocks to the side, and we'll just feel the difference, right? We'll just take a pause and just notice how your feet feel. You can wiggle them around, maybe take some ankle circles, and just notice what you feel. Our next posture is called Sleeping Swan, and we're going to show our hips some love. You might want to block if you're particularly tight through your hips like I am. So what we'll do to come into Sleeping Swan is we're going to have our left knee on the ground, and then our right foot swoops to the side so that your right knee is forward. And in yin, there's not a whole lot of rules of alignment like there is in other styles of yoga. So I don't want you to feel like if you can't get your knee 90 degrees that you're doing it wrong. You can nuzzle that foot close to the body. And then if you need to, you can place the block underneath that right hip so that you feel the sensation without feeling like you have to drop into the floor, right? It's almost like the block brings the floor to you, right? Which is so beautiful. It gives you that support that allows you to settle. And that's what we want. We want to be able to really deeply settle. And then it's Sleeping Swan. So we're going to come down onto our forearms. You can even have a block for your forehead. You could put it in the highest position, or you could put it on the medium setting, depending on your mobility. And again, this is all about finding what feels good for you, where you have that sensation in the right hip, and that you can surrender to gravity. Just let gravity take over and target that deep fascia, that connective tissue that works so hard for us, right? It's like saran wrap that goes all around our organs and muscles, keeping us together. If you've ever cut open an orange and saw the white connective tissue that gives structure to all of those juicy little orange slices, the orange segments, you understand how important it is, right? That connective tissue gives us shape and structure. And when it gets dehydrated, it jumbles up almost like netting in one of those netted grocery bags. It gets all jumbled up. And we want to help it to lay flat again. We're here for just a few more seconds, taking some slower, deeper breaths. And if you have a block under your forehead, you can remove it. We'll slowly make our way up. You can take the block under your hip if you had one there. And we're going to take a pause in between. You can place your hands behind you. You just knock your knees together. And just see if you notice a difference in how your hips feel. Maybe one hip feels heavier than the other. Or maybe it feels lighter. We'll set up for the second side. This time our left leg will be forward. Our right leg is extended behind us. Again, if you need to, you can place that block under your hip to give you some support. And then when you're ready, you can slowly bring your elbows down to the mat and use that block if you have it and need it. Definitely no shame in using support. That's another thing I love about yin yoga is you're letting your body know that you have its back, whatever it takes. Sometimes we need props. So if you're using props, I give you mad props. In yin, we practice somatic meditation, which helps us to settle into our postures. And what that consists of is 5 principles. The first principle is when we notice thoughts that come in, we focus on feeling our feet. It helps us to stay grounded. We also soften our face, drop our tongue to the bottom of our mouth. And we find the yin breath. The yin breath is just a breath where you're not trying. It just lets your body breathe itself. That's the yin breath, is the breath that you're taking without even noticing. And we'll very slowly, intentionally slowly, come out of the posture, moving our blocks to the side. And taking our pause again in that knock-kneed position. Taking our hands behind us. And we're going to come onto our belly. We're going to extend our left arm out long. We're going to take our hand next to our chest. And then we're going to open up the hips. I have a bolster here, which is, ironic that I need it. But if you also need support to bring the floor up to you, you also can have a couch cushion or a bolster or a block there to have your foot land. The target area here is the chest. This is amazing if you've been doing some chest presses or flies. And we'll slowly come out of this posture, unwinding. And you can take your arms into a little pillow for your head, resting your forehead on your forearms. And just see what you notice. And we'll set up for our second side. We'll extend the right arm long, taking our left hand by our chest, and using it as a guide to push. And then you could just let that arm settle. We'll slowly come out of this posture, back onto our bellies, unwinding, taking that pause once again, forehead to forearms. Our last posture will be something called saddle. So we'll use this bolster. We're going to take a couple blocks underneath the bolster to make a little ramp. And we'll set up where our feet are outside of the bolster and our bum is just on the bolster. And you can lean back, make sure that your head is resting on the bolster. And if this is too much, you can do this without the bolster. You can lean back on your hands, opening up the shoulders, shining the chest forward. You can even place blocks under your hands here to bring the floor up to you. So many of us weightlifters have extremely tight quadriceps. So it's completely understandable if this is not immediately accessible to you. So just play with it. You could also do a half saddle where you do one leg at a time. And if you are, I'll let you know when we are halfway through that side so that you can switch. So if you're doing the half saddle with one leg extended, just switch the legs. We're halfway there. Sometimes it also feels nice to take your arms overhead. Keeping our very yin, slow mindset, we're going to ease out of this posture very carefully. You can press your hands into the floor, pushing up. And then our final resting posture is going to be child's pose with the bolster. So we will come into straddling in the opposite direction, and you can scoop up underneath the bolster and just rest, letting your low back just rest and relax. And we'll just come back up. You can place the bolster to the side. Place the blocks to the side. And we'll just come onto our backs. You can even place the bolster underneath your knees for our Shavasana. Laying on our back, melting into the floor. Taking a moment to scan your body from your nose to your toes. See what feels different, what maybe feels like it has more space. Maybe some of the kinks have been ironed out. When you're ready, you can bring some movement back into your fingertips and toes, maybe swirling your ankles around, gentle motion, circles with the ankles. If you have a bolster under your knees, you can scooch it out from underneath. And we're just going to roll to our favorite side, left or right, it's up to you. Yogi's choice. And just take a moment in the fetal position here. Taking some time to honor yourself, acknowledge yourself. For doing the yin activity. Oftentimes, us folks who like to lift weights or do HIIT training or any of those very yang activities, we're very drawn to them. And we need that balance of yin, which is not always our nature. So finding that yin to our yang can help us stay healthy and balanced and vibrant. so with that, let's slowly push our hand into the floor and lift our body up. Have a seat. Don't worry about fixing your hair or your clothes. You're fine exactly the way you are in this moment. And we'll take our fingertips to touch. Thumbs pointed towards our heart space. And we'll just take a moment to, again, thank ourselves for taking the time to honor that mobility and flexibility. A flexible mind and a flexible body. So with that, I thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you feel amazing, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much.